This is an absolutely massive day for AI. We just got the latest Claude model, Claude Opus 5. And I was literally in bed about to go to sleep last night, and I saw this news broke, and I basically stayed up for like 4 or 5 hours until 4 a.m. testing everything, looking at prompts, looking at comparisons, coming up with how I actually want to use this in my workflow. And today I'm bringing you guys a comprehensive review of Opus 5 so far in my experience, how I think it stacks up versus Fable 5, and how I'm changing my AI stack based on this model, because this is quite a monumental model considering in the benchmark scores, it actually outperforms Fable 5 in a variety of categories like agentic coding, agentic search, computer use, etc. But it actually does so at roughly half the cost, which we'll get into in a second. So it's actually a cheaper model than Fable 5, but it outperforms Fable 5 in many areas. However, as we'll discuss, there are still a couple of areas where I do think Fable 5 outperforms, and I'm going to be going through some comparisons so you guys can actually be the judge of which model is worth it. Honestly, if you do look through the percentages, in many cases it's very similar, but I feel like where the real leap forward is with Opus 5 versus Fable 5 and obviously Opus 4.8 is the performance by effort level. So it's available today in our plans. So it's priced the same as Opus 4.8. It's available in the Claude API, and it's now the default model on Claude Max. There's also a fast mode, which I think could be very good for fast-paced agentic work. I always like doing the visual comparison test to see how good a model is. You can see in this comparison, we have Opus 5 on top and Fable 5 Max at the bottom. And I would say that Opus 5 is actually very impressive when it comes to graphic design, and this was a one-shot prompt. It stacks up pretty well to Fable 5, and you got to remember, in many cases, it's going to be pretty much half the cost, meaning you get a very similar output. In some cases, I think a better output for much less cost. I've also seen people putting Opus 5 against Kimi K3. I think Opus 5 looks much, much better, actually. Like, the visuals are more impressive, but users pointed out on the one-shot prompts. But the developer here pointed out that Kimi actually one-shotted the movement better, whereas Opus 5, although it looked better, it actually had more errors. You can see someone actually created Minecraft with Opus 5. This is actually a lot better, in my opinion, than the other ones that I saw on Fable 5. This is actually quite impressive, and it does stack up because in terms of most of the benchmarks, it does come out ahead. And the fact this is cheaper, I think, is a big thing. Like, make no mistake, Opus 5 is a very good model. It might just be the best AI model on the planet right now, but not for everything. But in terms of an overall model, it genuinely stacks up very well. Someone also recreated Rocket League. I feel like these game recreations are actually good to see how with a single prompt, the AI will react. And this is probably the best clone that I've seen of a Rocket League game. I mean, it looks incredible, and Opus 5 did this on its own. And if you look at the same prompt on GPT Sol, like, it was much worse. And for general design stuff, video design, graphics, 3D stuff, I'm using Claude. Whether it's Fable 5 for architecture or Opus 5 now for execution, I still think Claude is better. Look at this comparison. Opus 5, $4.20, Fable 5, $9.60, so double the cost, and arguably Opus 5 did a better job or a very similar job in this comparison. Like, they are very, very similar outputs, and Opus 5 is at half the cost.